I've said the word New Vegas more than I've said Las Vegas in my life. So whenever I'm talking about the city of Las Vegas, my brain activates and it goes, don't you mean New Vegas? And I'm like, right, of course. That's what I was trying to say in this conversation. This is probably because I go to New Vegas more, because the Las Vegas costs way too much money. I can't gamble if I got no money, okay? But New Vegas costs $2 sometimes. $2 is an entry-level price that a gamer can't afford. And you get a lot of content with this purchase here. Every time I launch this game and I play it, I have a completely different playthrough than the one before. And what makes this game so replayable is that the different playthroughs in the game are not really marketed as the good guy path or the bad guy path. Instead, they all take themselves seriously, and all the factions, they feel like they're role-playing. They're not like going out of their way saying, we are the bad guys and we're at war with the good guys. Instead, who you're working for, they have like a role-play that they're doing, and they're immersed in the world, and all the characters you can tell are trying to roleplay that this world exists and that you're not playing a video game. And I think when game devs do that, I like it, okay? I like it. It's like I'm playing D&D, you know? It's really hammy. You're like fucking Caesar's Legion, like they're fucking dudes dressed as Roman soldiers in the wasteland. I see that, I'm like, okay, bro. And then I start talking to them and they're buying into their ridiculous LARP. And I'm like, okay, man, I get you're putting in work here, so I can suspend my disbelief for a little bit. The intro does its best to cram in as much as it can. There's a lot to unpack in Fallout New Vegas, and I'm surprised the intro adds in as much as it does. You have the NCR, you have Vegas itself, Securitrons, with Caesar's Legion watching from very far away. Hey man, they like to watch, okay? And to top it all off, Chandler Bing from the hit TV show Friends is here, but he's a little nefarious this time. In Fallout New Vegas, he is a gangster. Maybe he was a gangster in real life. I don't know anything about Matthew Perry's real life lore. But in this game, he is evil. And he robs you at the start of the game. You have a platinum chip because you're delivering it to someone. And he wants the chip. And to get it, he kidnaps you. And well, Chandler Bing from the hit TV show Friends shoots you in the head and kills you. But this is a video game, so you can walk it off. The impact of the intro is kind of undercut if you have all the DLC, because all your guns and everything unlock at the start of the game, and it pauses everything going on. After unlocking all your gamer gear, you're awoken by this old doctor. Some robot brought you here, and he patched you up. And he's just a kind old man. Thank you, kind stranger. I think my name is Anton. I was trying to create Anton Chigurh from the hit movie No Country for Old Men, but they didn't really have his hairstyle in the game. So I settled by giving myself Norwood. To truly experience Fallout New Vegas, I created a character who was youthful and vigorous, and I think could handle whatever the wasteland threw at him. When playing Fallout New Vegas, you'll notice that the intro really isn't as good as the one in Fallout 3, but it is a lot faster, allowing you to get into the wasteland a lot faster too. When designing your character, you get to choose up to 2 traits when you start, and I decided I wanted Wild Wasteland because it's the funny, wacky, and dare I say, zany one. The trait really just activates a whole bunch of Easter eggs that, you know, they could be funny. Oh yeah, also, 1 Charisma Warrior. It's crazy how fast you just let out there. You can literally just go anywhere if you want to. Kinda. You can't really go anywhere you want to because around the starting area there's some dangerous enemies that are running around. So you're sort of forced to go a certain way. Unless you're a baller. You're going to be taking this route. I'm a hardcore gangster. So I didn't say thank you to the robot that saved me. Instead, I made my way to the tutorial. Sunny Smiles is here to teach you what a video game is, and I sat my ass down and I listened and I learned. Before I met her, I never even knew how to click my mouse, but here I was, shooting by clicking. Maybe I did need her tutorial. Now that I proved that I could click my mouse, she thought I was ready to take my first kill. I'll go and find those creatures, Sunny. I will kill them for you. It's not a crazy improvement, but the shooting is way better in Fallout New Vegas than it is in Fallout 3. Mainly because you can aim down sight. It just looks and feels a lot better. With the geckos gone, it's time to go into the saloon. But I always say hi to Easy Pete. He's just chill like that. Inside the bar, there was some trouble afoot. Some tomfoolery. There was a guy inside the bar who was causing a ruckus looking for a man named Ringo.
He's some trader who decided he'd rather shoot than pay the toll for being in our territory. He's hiding somewhere in town. Would serve these idiots right if me and my guys shot the place up after we got payback on Ringo.
This man is an escaped convict. He's part of the Powder Gang. They're criminals that the New California Republic brought in here. And they're supposed to be, cheap labor. And then they escaped and took over. But, this guy is not the brightest cookie in the world because I could find Ringo pretty fast. So that's why I'm a wasteland killer. And he went to jail. You can actually join with the Powder Gangers and raid the town. But I decided against that because my cat was watching. And my cat is very young. And I didn't want it learning from my bad actions. Because what if the cat does a hostile takeover of my house? Then, what do I do? I did not take the skilled trait, which you can do actually. You can take this trait called skilled, put it on, and then remove it. And it removes the debuff, but you get 5 attributes. It's broken. I didn't do that. I didn't even take the trait to begin with, so I just have 1 charisma. And I decided I must live with my mistakes, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But I did. If you're wondering how the exploit works, I believe it's like this. You spawn with the trait, and then when you're leaving Goodsprings for the first time, it asks, do you want to respec your character? And you say, yes, please. And then you remove the trait. But I believe you keep the skill points, but you lose the debuff. And the debuff is something like you lose a certain amount of XP. So, it's whatever, dude. There's so many guys to kill in the wasteland, you're not going to be missing that XP. Because I knew that exploit and I didn't do it, you might as well consider me a chump. And my journey in New Vegas, you might as well consider that my chump quest. Yeah, doing this is actually so awesome. I love aiming. Down the road, you find a guy with a long face. He's kind of having a bad day. And you got to ask him what's going on. Got to feel his soul, read his mind. His girlfriend or whatever is being attacked by geckos and you got to go save her. But when you actually get to where he kind of said she was, you find out that he was lying. This is when you find out that people can lie in the wasteland. He tried to murder me, but I think his greatest sin was lying. Lying to my heart. There is an Easter egg up here, but the guy sitting in the chair is gone. The dead guy. Not even a dead guy wants to be in my presence, man. I even put a hat on to hide my hairline. But people still don't want to fuck with me. I make it to the town of Primm, and I find a Californian soldier outside. And he's like, bad people are inside the city of Primm. And then I tell him, yeah, I'll be looking out for him, man. Thanks for giving me the warning. I think one of them got out of the city and shot him or something. I don't know who did that. That was kind of weird. Another sort of weird thing was I found a second dead soldier outside the city of Primm. So I was starting to think that maybe the first guy was telling the truth. There are some bad people in Primm right now. There's a faction rep system in this game that factions will treat you differently based on how you treat them or what missions you do. And since I was crouch killing, they didn't know that was me. I mean, they didn't know who killed them. So it was just maybe a ghost did it. But if you wear another faction's uniform, you can pretend to be that faction. And it adds a cool layer of like intrigue you can do in this game. My relations with the NCR, they're nothing. Though my relations with the Forbidden Cookie, fucking brutal, man. You can take landmines, but I forgot how fast they activate the first time I tried to grab one. You know, it could happen to anyone. After touring through DC, Primm isn't really that bad of a town. I mean, it has some, you know, bad locals, but which town doesn't? I'm a tourist, so I was asking for directions, and I was told about a spot that seemed pretty cool. Bonnie and Clyde's car is in this casino, mint condition. You know, that's pretty cool. I found a guy who looks like he knows what's going on around here, and I asked him, hey, can you help me find the guy who shot me in the head? And he goes, well, I can't personally, but I know a guy, but to get to him, you're gonna have to kill a lot of people. And I'm like, okay. Do I look like the kind of guy who's gonna say no to extra XP? If you tell me to kill someone, I go, what level are they? The only in Fallout New Vegas can I say I've been shot by a hotel receptionist. It's the first time for everything. The shotgun I'm using is a DLC shotgun, and it's a little crazy. In most RPGs, you start your way from the bottom upwards, but in Fallout New Vegas, if you just buy the edition everyone buys, the one with all the content, you just get a good gun at the start of the game. Like, I feel like I'm John Marston right now. Don't get me wrong, I like the shotgun, but it feels like I should be using a varmint rifle right now. I rescued the deputy because, you know, maybe you can help me out. I need to find Chandler Bing.
That was quite an adventure. We taught those convicts a thing or two, didn't we? Breaking myself out of a hostage situation. Not to diminish your role in it, of course, but it was quite thrilling.
Hey man, yeah, you were pretty cool. After his rescue, he tells me I need to go to Novac, and I'm like, okay. But then he also says, can I find him a sheriff because he's only a lonesome deputy. And I'm like, okay again. I don't want the NCR running this place, so I'm gonna find a convict to run it for them. Trust me, I'm a nuanced character this time around. The powder gangers are held up in a prison like Rick Grimes. I'm in here just looking for one guy. I really didn't even want to kill them, but it's sort of like they shot me, so I shot them. Can I make it any more obvious? In a way, I was a homicidal barber killing everyone with this little razor. But I found the guy I needed to find, and he needs a pardon. Another thing I gotta do. You know, I was already in the neighborhood, so I made a special visit to a special friend of mine, the leader of the powder gangers. I delivered some pizza. Now that I'm out of that prison, I can make my way to Novac. But on our way to Novac, we go to Nipton. It's a pretty scenic journey. On my way there, I found some cool animals that I'm like, hey, I've never seen these animals before. It's new to me. I have never seen giant ants in a Fallout game. And if I did, I pretend I didn't. When you make it to Nipton, you notice that, well, the decorations are up this time of year.
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did!
This guy won a lottery of sort, but my advice is never go around saying that you won the lottery. Bad things tend to happen. He wasn't even lying too, he did win the lottery. Now let's go figure out what that lottery is all about. What did I win? There's a lot of guys hanging around here, but the vibe was kind of off. I kind of felt like I wasn't welcomed here. And then I saw some guys come out of this building, and then I knew maybe I was welcomed.
I want you to witness the fate of the town of Nipton, to memorize every detail. And then, when you move on, I want you to teach everyone you meet the lesson that Caesar's Legion taught here. Especially any NCR troops you run across.
I was having a good time, and then these guys started bumming me out. Just as soon as they came, they went. It's kind of eerie how fast they were leaving the town. I had a stealth boy on me, so I decided to do something kind of funny. I don't know if this is what you're supposed to do, but if you have a stealth boy, and you see a guy like this walking around who looks like he has a lot of loot on him, You gotta take destiny into your own hands. Sometimes destiny can go a little crazy, but you gotta let her take the wheel. This game can actually be really mean. Look at this here. They're putting landmines under everything. The road here is pretty dangerous, but it could be a lot worse. The other direction, if you went north, has death claws, and well, a death claw this early on might be pretty trouble. But if anyone says man is the real monster, they are mistaken. I'm seeing beasts out here take down many men. Actually, you know what? I take it back. Maybe we are the monsters here. The Legion just took out this innocent caravan and giving me a lot of free loot in the process. And then I turned around and turned the Legion into free loot. I was in Legion territory here, and I think I could have taken them all out, but I kind of wanted to just get to the next town and stop lollygagging. But maybe we can fool around for a little bit. We can be a little silly. Finally, after that long journey, we made it to Novac. And this is where you can actually get a player house. You can buy a little room, and they say you're renting it, but you're basically renting it for life. Every time I play the game, this is my home right here. You get a nicer home later in the game, but this one's so easy to get to, and you find it so early on that I just dump everything I own into this little locker. This town is cool because there's a giant dinosaur in it. You know, we gotta go check out the dinosaur. And on top of the dinosaur is the next guy to give us our quest on how to find Benny. It's gonna be a long detour to pad out the game. You don't even have to do it if you don't want to. But I feel like the game was intended for me to do this quest, so we're gonna do it. But it is busy work. Before we head out, I gotta say hi to the shop owner. He looks like if someone tried to create Barack Obama in Oblivion.
If you're here for the T-Rex figurines, you're just in time. There's still a few left.
To figure out where where Chandler Bing went, we have to head to a building and scare all the ghouls away. A lot of the tourists don't like that there's a bunch of ghouls in this testing facility. So to save the town, we gotta clear the ghouls. The ghouls had a plan to stop me though. When I tried to enter the facility, they crashed my game. They played their little trick, but they can only play it one time. It was pretty annoying, but I shot my way back to the front door. I was cautious, and I was a liver.
Go to the big room on the east side of this building and take the metal staircase all the way up. And hurry.
Upon entering the facility, a ghoul was actually trying to speak to me. A living ghoul, a talking ghoul. And not a growly ghoul, a scary ghoul, a creepy ghoul. I don't really like ghouls in Fallout games, not because I'm bigoted or anything, but feral ghouls, they're like, I don't know, they jump me and I panic even though they're not really that strong. Like they're on the weaker side, but something growls at me and just starts running. I get a little frightened, okay? Like, look how frightened I was here. All my bullets were hitting the wall. Like, this thing is gonna run at me, it's gonna growl at me, and I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna piss my pants. Every room I enter, I get jump scared somehow. Like, oh my god. Look at them, dude. They're everywhere. Please stop placing ghouls everywhere. My little heart can't take it. And when I think I've finally escaped all the ghouls, they activate another trap. And they crash my game again. To solve this problem, I installed the 4GB patch. I know, I was trying to play this unpatched just to see how it ran. Well, I got my answer. It doesn't run.
God, but are you ugly. Get upstairs and talk to Jason before I throw up just from looking at you.
You see, this is actually a normal human who thinks he's a ghoul, and he's doing the ghoul voice. See, all the other ghouls, they try to tell him he's not a ghoul, but he thinks he's a ghoul. But I guess when you hang with ghouls, maybe you can do the ghoul voice. But he's doing the voice so clean, and he's not irradiated or anything. So it makes me wonder, I wonder if like ghouls actually talk normal when they're around each other. But when normal humans are around ghouls, they put on the ghoul voice to sound scary. You know, I'm just spitballing here. Turns out this is a religious sect of ghouls, and they're trying to, I guess, go into space But they're trapped up here because a bunch of Nightkin trapped them up here. So I gotta go clear them out. You know, more busy work. There's only like a few quests I can kind of name in this game that are like annoying to do. It's this one, the Brotherhood of Steel quest if you want to get power armor. They make you go through the most annoying rigmarole I've ever seen. And then maybe the con quest if you want to get the cons to not side with the Legion. Only because they put one of them in a fucking Deathclaw infested wasteland. Like, why would they do that? I don't know. There's also the Boomer quest when you want to ally with the Boomers. They make you do some really tedious stuff too. I like Fallout New Vegas, but there is some tedium involved in this game. I was having like a mini panic attack because I was clearing out this place and then, well, I fall through the wall. But luckily, I got rebounded, but I panicked, dude. I had a little mini heart attack. After clearing out a couple of Nightkin, I find this guy here, and he's like, yo, find my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, I got you.
It gets lonely out in the wastes, okay? And I don't have to tell you, that Bright's group has got some fine-looking goulettes in it. Or maybe I would have to tell you.
You know, I can't even be too mad. This guy, he just wants his goulette. And I would too if I was a ghoul.
Please God, I'm so lonely.
I do find the main Nightkin, and me and him would talk it out with our words. Unfortunately, the girlfriend of the ghoul, the ghoulette, she didn't make it. It's unfortunate that this had to happen to her. She is probably a hero. I walked all the way back to the ghoul to let him know that his girl is dead. I'm sorry, bro. Then I had to walk all the way back to the other guys to let him know that I cleared all the Nightkin. It's not too far of a walk, but yeah, I just do a lot of walking, man. Now we can load all the ghouls onto a rocket ship and send them into space. But like, awesome. Look how happy they are. They're all going into space. Before we can actually launch them into space, we have to find 2 things that are needed for their rocket ship, because this quest wasn't long enough. There was a dead guy outside and he had one of the parts we needed. I take that, I go back, and then I'm sent to go find the last thing we need. This girl has it. I don't know what her fucking dog's doing, but this girl has it. And yeah, I'm a schmuck, okay? I paid 500 caps because I'm a schmuck. I did my little sad walk back with all the parts ready. It's time to send my friends off into space. And yeah, these are my friends. I've spent so much time with them that, you know, I feel like I am one of them. Maybe I am a ghoul. Please send me to space with you. Unfortunately, Chris couldn't go with them because I told him he's not a ghoul and he would die on this journey.
And dying would be worse than this? Used up and thrown away like garbage? Oh, so I've redeemed the human race, is that it? What a crock.
Hey Chris, it could be worse. You could be the one walking to go and send him into space. Yeah, there's no way to launch him in that room. They don't teleport you to the launcher. None of that. I have to walk through this facility all over again. All I can say is love always wins. With the ghouls airborne, I can figure out where I need to go next, and where I need to go next is Boulder City. There are great cons there, and they were with Benny. So maybe they know where he's at. I like how all of this is optional if you just know where to go, which is kind of like Fallout 3, where you can just find your dad if you know where he's at. But this is how the game was meant to be played. You're meant to go on this giant goose chase trying to find Benny, and that allows you to really explore the world instead of just going straight to New Vegas. I was going to need a lot of money for New Vegas, I felt like, so I had to get my money out. Anything for those caps, you know. I was turning into Anton Chigurh. We made it to Boulder City finally. I collected some caps and then I made my way towards where I needed to go. The NCR have the great cons surrounded, but it takes a gamer like me to solve the problem. I had my stealth boy on, and I decided I was going to go speak with the manager. We talked it out for a little bit. I felt like we were getting to an understanding. But then, during the heat of the moment, some words were said. But it's too late because the police came and gunned them down. We loot a quest item off this guy that reveals where Benny is at. And well, we can head on our way. I decided now was probably the best time to get that pardon before I forget. So I went to go get a pardon for the sheriff that I was going to install. You know, nothing bad could ever come of this, I feel like. Sometimes it's not about the world. Sometimes it's about the XP reward for doing the thing. You know what I mean? It was just probably a bad idea to give this town over to the NCR and let them run it after I've killed so many of them. What if my crimes catch up to me? You gotta think about this. You gotta think 5 steps ahead. Again, with my work done, I head out once more to find Benny. I could finally see New Vegas. I knew I was almost there, and I had to celebrate. Well, actually, I was going to New Vegas, and then I stumbled upon a vault because I was killing geckos out here. When you see a vault, you gotta go inside of it, even if it's infested with radiation, geckos, and ghouls, and water. It was all worth ruining my DNA with radiation because I got a whole bunch of cool guns out of it, and I think it'll pay off. My clothing broke down, so I needed to get myself a new outfit. So I found 2 guys who were willing to lend me one, which is pretty nice actually. With some new drip, we're on our way to New Vegas, and we're gonna have a good time. Nothing can stop us this time. Nothing can distract me. I was tempted to ask these guys for directions, but I don't think I could really miss where the city was. It's pretty funny, if you play the game how it was intended to be played, it does take quite a long time to get to New Vegas. I mean, you could just run there at the start of the game, but the game kinda disincentivizes that. You're meant to spend a while leveling up and learning about the wasteland, and then you go to the heart of the beast. And I do mean the heart of the beast because these guys are they're fiending out here. But if I didn't wander around the wasteland, I wouldn't be the Lord of Death, so take it as it is, man. I like luck in Fallout, so I decided to run Misfortune, you know, because I ran the Mysterious Stranger in Fallout 3, but I forgot in Fallout New Vegas, she's a little wonky, okay? She's a little crazy, and it was kind of a detriment to take her. I think she has gotten me killed more times than she's helped me, but she's a girl boss, so we have no choice but to stand. Even though I've been collecting a lot of caps on my way here, I actually do not have enough caps to get into the city to pass a credit check. And if you try to breach the city, I guess you get detained. Yeah, that's what happens. Well, since I was here in Freeside, I decided to do some sightseeing and, maybe interact with some of the locals and see what's going on around here.
Look, Rexy, someone new's come to see us. Poor boy. He hasn't been feeling well lately. I'm the king. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I decided to work for the king because, he kind of seemed like a cool guy. He seemed like a chill guy. And I like working for people. I like questing. He sent me to go hire this bodyguard because he's a little too good at being a bodyguard. And we got to see what's up with him. We were having a pretty safe journey. But then he sped up ahead and, an incident happened.
Gotcha. How'd you get ambushed, huh? Noticed that, did you? I keenly aimed one of the shots through some soft tissue of one of them to hit the man behind him.
I can't believe it. My goat was a fraud. I went to go report to the king and I thought I would wait around for a little bit for him to show up because I didn't want to walk to him because he might be the king, but I'm the player character, so I'm going to take my time and I'm going to wait around. And so I kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and then eventually I was jump scared.
Just rolling along on my spurs. Looks like I just might make it to New Vegas after all.
My fellow robot friend, we are here. We're in New Vegas. I do another mission for the king, and it involves me chasing the NCR out of Freeside because they're encroaching on the turf of the kings, basically. Yeah, I had to do what I had to do.
I've already heard all about what happened, and all I can say is that I and all of Freeside thank you. Thank you very much.
You get to ask a favor after doing all these missions for the king from the king, and you can get one to get into the strip, but I know another way to get in, so I don't really feel like wasting it. But you know, I just kind of did these missions because I'm a nice guy, I'm a chill guy. What I decided to do, and this is something that's pretty cool, is that you can actually dress as an NCR soldier, and you can use the NCR transportation and enter the city like the NCR do by pretending to be one. There was a method to all the murder, okay? I'm not an insane psycho person. I'm a cosplayer, okay? I'm a cosplayer, and I was getting my outfits to do silly little cosplays, okay? And what do you know? My awesome robot has made it here, but he has a different name now. He's Securitron MK1. You know, that's not what I'm gonna call you, okay? I'm gonna call you, I could get used to living here, man. Living here seems pretty chill. To think that people want to destroy this. I like to wonder what New Vegas would have looked like if this game didn't release on consoles, because I imagine consoles limited this quite a bit, and that's why everything's sectioned off. But what do I know? I'm just a gamer. The whole game has been leading to this moment here. You see, Victor was sent by someone to revive me, and this someone is in this building here. Because Victor brought me to the doctor at the beginning of the game. So I guess we're gonna go meet our guardian angel.
This meeting has been a long time coming, hasn't it? You've come a long ways, literally, and I suspect figuratively as well. I have to ask, now that you've reached your destination, what do you make of what you see?
Can I have a job? Turns out Mr. House was the one who hired us all those many hours ago. And Benny was an employee of Mr. House who runs a casino for him. And Benny shot us in the head, took the chip, and our house wants us to get the chip back. And well, you know, I'll do anything if someone tells me to do it and they pay me some XP. I went on my way to go have a nice talk with Benny, and then I was stopped by this guy, and he sold me some firearms. That's just all I want to say about him. I accidentally went into the wrong building. There are half-naked women in here. I avoided that for now, and I went into the right building.
What in the goddamn? Let's keep this in the groove, hey? Smooth moves, smooth. Hello? The guy everyone saw go in the Lucky 38, that was you? Oh, shit.
His dialogue is so awkward, but I can't hate him because it's Matthew Perry playing the character. I just accept that Matthew Perry shot me in the head. But I was going to take this the smooth route. I told him, let's go around the back. I know he was trying to betray me, but he was pretty polite. Well, I don't know if he could betray me. He could scam me, but he already kind of shot me in the head, so I feel like I've already been betrayed by this guy. But, you know, I still care about him, you know, in a weird way.
House was on to me from word go? I thought I was being so clever. Once you were vertical, how'd you track me down?
It kind of feels weird talking to Benny in this game because he's voiced by Matthew Perry, and unfortunately, Matthew Perry died somewhat recently, and it kind of feels morbid talking to him in a video game, knowing that, you know, this is an interactive media with a guy who's not with us right now. It's really only weird to me because I used to watch Friends a lot when I was a kid, and now I'm talking to Benny in this game, and I know he's going to betray me. I want to work with him, but there's no way to work with Benny, really. So I gotta do what I gotta do.
You forgive me? After what I done? Baby, are you trying to make me cry? I don't know what to say. Words don't begin. The least I can do is comp you the presidential for as long as you want it. This spirit of forgiveness you're showing me, it's enough to make a player rethink what it means to win. You're 18 karat, baby, all the way.
You know that painting of Ivan the Terrible, where he's holding his son, and his son is bleeding out, and he's trying to stop the bleeding? That's how it feels right now, gunning Benny down. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I just need the platinum chip, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please, you gotta forgive me. I'm begging right now, I'm crying. All I needed was the platinum chip. There's a lot of choices and paths in this game, but I really wish there was one where you could have sided with Benny. Just because, you know, he might have, he might have tried to kill you. But he's funny. After all that, one of Caesar's goons comes and tells us Caesar wants to meet with us, but the guy who normally does this is dead, so they sent another guy to do it. Because, you know that Caesar's guy with the dog hat? He's dead, so... yeah. Sorry, Big C. My Norwood ass gotta go meet up with Mr. House. This was my mentor. He was my only hope of saving my hairline.
So, Benny has been handled, and you've recovered the platinum chip. Let's have it. Such a small thing, isn't it? And yet so capacious, so very dear. Some things are more easily shown than told. Take the elevator all the way down to the bottom level, and you'll see what I mean. Don't worry, you'll like what you see. We have much to accomplish, you and I.
I go down below, and I see the upgraded Securitrons. This is what I was shot in the head for, I guess, but, you know, they're pretty cool. I don't know if I'd volunteer to get shot in the head for this again, but overall, I think everything worked out alright. Now I gotta go and infiltrate Caesar's camp and go into this bunker under his camp, all to activate the Securitron Army. Say what you want about the Legion, but they were pretty friendly when I went to go hang out with them. I thought being an outsider, they would be a little meaner to me, but they seemed pretty chill actually. They even took me on a boat to go meet the big guy himself.
So I finally get to meet the courier who's accomplished so much in so little time. That's why I summoned you here, right? I mean, a man nearly kills you, and your response is to track him across the breadth of the Mojave? You arrive on the strip and waltz into the Lucky 38 like someone left you a key under the doormat? You assassinate the head of the chairman in his own casino and get away with it? Then something happens to Mr. House's robot, some kind of military upgrade? When you set your mind to something, you get results. I like that. The question is, are you ready to get started?
Well, when you put it like that, how do I get started is what I was thinking, but I couldn't work for Caesar because Mr. House was nice to me first, and I had some sort of loyalty to Mr. House because, well, he was nice to me. Caesar wants me to go into the bunker and destroy all the Securitrons, essentially. I said yeah, basically, because I wanted into the bunker, but, you know, I didn't want to hurt Caesar's feelings. The vibe Caesar brings is kind of like one of, a high school football coach. Like, imagine you're a high school football coach, but if he was a warlord and killed people. Thank you, Mr. House, for sending me into a place that is just filled with radiation. Love you, though. It's kind of weird having an awesome gun in Fallout New Vegas because it feels sort of obtuse to have this here. Like, it just doesn't feel like it's a part of the game because it's actually good. It has an awesome fire rate. I don't know, it just kind of feels weird. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas feel natural when you have some rinky-dink gun. You know, some sort of, maybe lever action. I don't know. It just kind of feels weird when you're using a good gun. Because with the All-American, you can just room clear. But this is all subjective. Because some people might actually prefer using weapons like this, while I prefer using maybe, a repeater rifle or some sort of cowboy gun because it feels more natural to the setting. There's nothing enforcing that opinion. That's just how I feel. But I decide to actually install the platinum chip because I'm Mr. House's top guy. Even though Mr. House is so nice to me, I usually betray him, but I don't know. I feel like when I do the yes man ending, it's almost like I'm cheating. That's like a cheat ending. Because you can win by yourself and be your own faction in this game. But, I don't know, the factions are kind of cool enough where, in hindsight now, I feel like you should work with the NCR, the Legion, or Mr. House in at least one playthrough. And, the Yes Man playthrough is my first ending because, YOLO, you know what I mean? But I appreciate the factions in this game.
You have a very bright future ahead of you, thanks to your actions today. So does the rest of mankind.
I felt the ground shake a while ago. I'll take that as a sign you've got the job done. Let's press on, shall we? As I was telling you before, I want Mr. House out of the picture. You have an interest in his death, too. If he knows that you destroyed his gadgets beneath the fort, he will strike back. You know where to find him. How he dies, I leave up to you.
I'm sorry, Caesar, I can't kill him. But this sort of writing is pretty neat. I like that, Caesar isn't omnipresent. He doesn't know everything going on. So to figure out if you're on his side or not, he has you go and kill Mr. House. It isn't galaxy brain writing, but I just like that the game really does focus on player choice and player input. It's just nice when games acknowledge that you exist in the world as a player. Before I left Caesar's little camp situation he had here, I did release the slaves. I'm a complex character, alright? Back at Mr. House's house, we do learn some backstory here. You see, the reason that, I guess, Nevada, this area of Nevada, isn't blown the fuck out, because Mr. House here stopped a lot of the bombs from actually hitting and destroying this beautiful landscape, which is why a lot of areas in this game aren't like blown out, and the water is drinkable. With all that exposition done, we can do one of the most annoying quests in the game. Ally the boomers or kill them.
Whoa there, pal. You better slow down, or you'll get blown up like the rest of the idiots who thought they'd scavenge in boomer territory.
I wonder what could be so dangerous about boomer territory, I thought to myself. Yeah, the trick here is to actually just hug the wall, because the explosions usually never hit you. Well, they might get close or they might hit you a little bit, but it's better than dying. That's what I always say. I got hit in the head pretty bad, but when a howitzer fires at you and just cripples your skull, all you can really do is walk it off. We gotta ally these people, and what that entails is actually just doing a whole bunch of fetch quests for them and tedious busy work. But what I've found is you can actually steal things from them and then donate it to them. And, just say you found it somewhere and they like you for it. I like to think of it as Bethesda game code helping me escape Obsidian busy work. I ended up having to do 2 quests for them this time because I exploited it a little bit, but then I got the big boomer quest. They need me to go and get them a giant bomber from the middle of a lake, but I'll do that when I feel like it. After so many hours in the wasteland, I realized I needed a friend. I decided to recruit Cass. I had to do a side quest for her, but she my friend.
Go with you? And why the hell would I do that?
Everyone needs a best friend in the Mojave, and this is mine. Wandering the Mojave can be pretty isolating, so it's nice to have someone there to pet animals with you. We had to go under and get this thing flying, or maybe I should say floating. Anything to get the boomers on my side. Cass saw me holding up the earth, and then she goes, "Yo, you missed the moon," and gives me a side quest to do.
Well done. The boomers' firepower may prove an advantage when the battle for Hoover Dam comes around. Your next assignment won't take you far. It concerns the Omertas and their den of vice, Gomorrah.
Next we had to stop the Omertas from betraying Mr. House, but I had some things I wanted to do. I wanted to chill a little bit, okay? I wanted to hang out and just hang out, dude. That's it. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to explain myself. A man could just chill if he wants to. Isn't that right, Cass?
Nobody's dick's that long. Not even Long Dick Johnson, and he had a fucking long dick. Thus the name.
So true, bestie. I took a little break from the main campaign and played some blackjack for a little bit. But then, it was time to get back to work. I was only gambling to get money to afford this gun called the medicine stick. It was like a fucking crazy amount of money. But one day it will be mine. I robbed this guy, and then I blackmailed him, which led to me finding some guns that were going to be used to attack the strip, and then I stole them. Better me, a trained hitman, than some goons kill people, if you know what I mean. I'm something of a professional killer. These guys didn't think so, but I don't really get paid to think, so what do I know? I'm such a smooth talker, I got them to turn on each other and kill themselves. so I didn't have to do it. It's cleaner this way. Okay, so I sort of lied. I did take out this last guy, but the story everyone else is gonna know is that these guys took each other out, and I was just sitting there watching. I was just like, I can't believe they did that. That was crazy. The Omertas were taken out, and then Mr. House gives me another mission. He wants me to go kill the Brotherhood of Steel. But I think I deserve a vacation in the form of a DLC. So it's a vacation I have to pay for, but I guess you have to pay for every vacation. Lee Everett is going to take us on a vacation, and it's going to be crazy and it's going to be wild.
Well, all right then. Let's get moving. We got a long road ahead of us.
I like this DLC here, mainly for the setting. It takes place in Utah, which is really, really pretty. It also introduces Joshua Graham, who is one of the cooler characters in this game, or as I like to refer to him as Punished Outdoor Boys. Graham was a Mormon missionary who ended up becoming a legate in the Legion, and he was in charge of the army when they failed to conquer Hoover Dam the first time, and he is rewarded with an awesome bath. Maybe the water was so hot he became the burned man. I was really in nature. I could feel it on my head. But you know how there's those videos where people go missing in national parks? Well, I'm assuming this is what happens to them. A tribe like the Whitelegs comes out of nowhere and they just attack and kill them. And maybe they eat them, I don't know. But that's probably what happens when people go missing in the woods. Maybe one day I'll go out and see what the big hubba bubba is all about by getting lost in the woods and just seeing what happens to me. Unfortunately for the guys I went out into the woods here with, they all died. But hopefully that doesn't happen to me. In game and in real life. With everyone I know dead, I became primal. I don't think they hate me because I'm not like them, because I'm literally dressed exactly like them. The Whitelegs here hate me for some other reason that I just don't know what it is. But if it has something to do with my hairline, then there's no chance for me. There's no chance for me in the wasteland. There's no chance for me out here in the wilderness. There's just no chance at all. I was shot at from the distance, so I returned fire. And I kept returning fire because I thought this person was hostile at first. But it turns out he was friendly. Everyone makes mistakes. Even me. This place is beautiful, but the wildlife is a little crazy. But honestly, I think this actually looks better than the actual game. Fallout New Vegas' Mojave is not exactly ugly, but it is kind of boring because it's just the same desert over and over. But in this DLC, everything looks hand-painted, so much so that it doesn't even look like the same game. The DLC kind of reminds me of Firewatch, a very interesting indie game I played recently, actually. I was like deathly sick, and I had that game in my Steam library for like so long, I decided to play it. I had my thoughts on it, but I was like very, very annoyingly sick when I was playing it. But I just wanted to bring that game up because this game, or this DLC, has a very similar atmosphere, mainly when it comes down to the environment. We make it to the friendly camp and we find two bears high-fiving a very important character and a lesser so important character, Joshua Graham.
And you're a courier, no less. Not the one I was expecting, but I suppose he wouldn't have come with a caravan.
He foreshadows Ulysses, OC character we'll run into eventually. But Joshua Graham, he kind of has like this cool aura to him that is somewhat wasted because all he does is make you go on fetch quest, and this whole DLC is like fetch quest. I think only one DLC actually is not fetch quest oriented, which kind of sucks because they all have interesting stories, but the gameplay ends up being more tedious than anything in the base game. So when I'm playing the DLCs, I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
Daniel and I need pre-war tools to help us navigate beyond Zion. Should we need to evacuate, these instruments will be vital to us. Normally, we would have some of the dead horses or sorrows look for them. But many pre-war buildings in the valley are taboo. They won't go inside.
Before I started to head out, I did a fetch quest of my own, and I robbed Joshua Graham. The fetch quests are simple enough, but this DLC did crash on me a little bit. After I patched the game, only the DLCs crashed, which was kind of funny. Eventually I managed to get all the stuff I needed, and I returned it all to Wendigoon. He's trying to teach his tribe about God and non-violence, but Joshua Graham has other ideas.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept, when we remembered Zion. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it even to the foundation. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be, that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be, that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Do you know what it means?
I was tripping out on a vision quest, so I didn't even know what was real and what wasn't. I was told to go fight a bear, but once I battled the bear, that bear became many bears. I was assured that I would win this battle because I took a lot of medicine, and medicine can never let you down. So this had to have been my fault. I doubled down on my chronic and I killed the bears, completing my journey. And all this did was give me a cool weapon, I guess. Most of the quests here are pretty boring, but the story itself is pretty interesting. And I decided to go with the Joshua Graham ending because he was cooler.
Thank you for this. I know Daniel doesn't approve, but destroying the Whitelegs is the only way to ensure the Sorrows can remain in Zion. Our objective is to find the Whitelegs' leader, salt upon wounds, and prevent him from fleeing. Show no quarter to the Whitelegs we come across. Make no mistake about why we are here. This is an extermination.
I know Joshua Graham said all that bad stuff, but I got a lot of charisma, so I think I can talk him out of some stuff. We massacre all the Whitelegs we run into, but don't worry. After killing all their people, we spare their leader. Mr. Graham, I know we killed all of them, but I think their leader has learned his lesson. Joshua, what if he said sorry? Well, okay. The two tribes can stay in Zion, the Whitelegs die, and Joshua Graham learns to be a nice guy. It is nice that this game has such a cool ending for such a simple DLC. I like it. Now that I'm back in the crazy wild wasteland, I decided to get a crazy wild friend, Felicia Day, from the hit web series, The Guild. I don't know why I approached her with my gun out like that. It looks like I'm about to mug her, but I'm a chill guy, and I feel like Felicia Day is probably a chill person, so we can all be chill. I took her back to the Brotherhood compound, the Brotherhood of Steel compound, and I forgot I have to kill everyone here because Mr. House told me to. And I felt really, really bad about it. I did send her away, and I killed everyone in here stealthily as to not anger them, because I didn't want to anger my companion. In a way, it's like nothing ever happened. I don't know, I became so evil, out of nowhere in this campaign. I got one more story mission to do, but I decided to finish up all the DLC real fast. And then, after I do the DLC and the one story mission, we can do the second battle of Hoover Dam. Randomly though, I did decide I wanted to have the con store, so I went and did all the con quests, and it was pretty annoying because I was trying to get the Great Khans to not side with Caesar, and the only way to do that was to find proof that Caesar was going to betray them, which, I might as well just kill Caesar while I'm there. And then I ended up battling Death Claws. All in all, I don't know if it was worth unlocking the store.
I should have you torn apart for speaking like that. But maybe you're right. The glory of the past is an empty dream.
If the Khans are to be immortal, we must make our own destiny. We won't fight for Caesar, but when he strikes, we will ride out one last time.
Time for the most controversial DLC. Dead Money. It's only controversial to me because Veronica, or Felicia Day, is sitting there as I'm being knocked out by some evil gas. And she doesn't even try to stop it. Like, I murdered your entire family, but I have plausible deniability. That could have been anybody. I wake to find out that Father Elijah, the leader of the Brotherhood who went missing, apparently he has kidnapped me, and he has placed an explosive collar on my neck and the neck of 3 other people. And if the collar explodes or the person dies, we all die, which is not really fun. I don't want to be a party pooper, but if he kidnapped me and put a bomb on my neck, I might be a little displeased with you. In this DLC, you have 3 companions, one who is a Nightkin, who has 2 personalities in his head. You know, pretty relatable. Then you have a cool ghoul who's British, and then you have a girl who is mute. Somebody put her in this. I don't think it was the British ghoul. Okay, yeah, it was probably him, but I want to believe. The whole goal of this DLC is you're trying to break into a casino and do a heist and get all the gold. But the issue is it's a survival horror game in Fallout New Vegas that kind of overstays its welcome because it's a pretty long DLC. Mainly because the map is kind of a maze and the enemies are kind of annoying to kill. And all the quests in here are kind of like World of Warcraft quests where they go, take this guy, go to this part of the map, go here, go here, go here. It's just a lot of walking and it's kind of repetitive. If you really Saw the video game, but the main thing keeping you from loving it was its lack of RPG mechanics, well, I think you're going to be at home with this DLC. What really scared me was I never knew if I was going to be able to walk on the floor or if I was going to fall through it. This sort of kept me on my toes for a little bit, with that fear subsiding when I made it into the casino. All my hours of work in this story was all worth it because you get a room with a whole bunch of gold, and I took my gold. I think there's some sort of overarching narrative about letting go, but letting go is for poor people. I killed Jigsaw, and then I made my way out of this nightmare. Unfortunately, if you're carrying all this gold, you're going to get slowed down because the game gives you all your items back, and I didn't really trust this equipment storage, so I started walking. I was close enough to Novac where I could just walk all the way there. The richest man in New Vegas second the house. Finally, I could buy the medicine stick. The medicine stick cost a lot of money, and you know, it's a video game, so the more money something costs, the better it's gotta be. Sorry, Cass, you can't come with me. I'm going to reddit.com, circa 2013. This mission involves you getting abducted and having your brain stolen by Sheldon Cooper and the Cooperites. I was being a little mean there. I kind of apologize for that. It's just I didn't really like the humor in this DLC. I didn't hate it, but it felt really forced in my opinion. Mainly because like this intro is a 10-minute long dialogue sequence that was just trying to be funny, though it probably is really funny to its target audience, which is probably millennials and people who grew up in that sort of environment. The culture, the 2011 culture of the internet, that environment. So in a way it's kind of nostalgic because it's a time capsule of what was probably like knee slapping funny back in the day, but right now I kind of like just wanted to play the DLC and I just kind of had to sit here.
After that, the brain lost itself. Not in the metaphysical sense. Might have gotten flushed into one of the pipes. Actually, that's pretty likely.
If so, it was flushed all the way to Mobius. Flush! That is the sound of flushing.
By the Fisher of Rolando, enough of this biological surgery talk. Lobotomite, listen to my voice. It denominates me to ask, but we need your help.
In most probable of probabilities, our enemy, Mobius, has your brain. This is not good. He will most likely come after our brains next. We want you to stop him, somehow, with science.
I sort of joked about the other DLCs being fetch quests from World of Warcraft, but this one literally is just that. You're given this map that's kinda... Okay, look, he's not like a horrible map, but it is the least interesting so far of the DLC maps. And you just go into dungeons and find MacGuffins. And then when you get all the MacGuffins, you can get your brain back. And while you hunt MacGuffins, giant robot scorpions try to kill you. I don't want to be too mean to this DLC because a lot of people like this DLC. And just because I don't like it doesn't mean that if you like it, it's a bad DLC. Because it's not horrible. It does crash a lot, but it wasn't horrible. I just kind of felt it was a waste of time for me to do because I was so invested into the main story of Fallout New Vegas that hunting down scorpions and executing them kind of felt like busy work when I wanted to do the cool stuff. I couldn't really explore the map as much as I wanted to because my game would crash like crazy playing this expansion or DLC. So I played it safe and was just going for the objectives. The final boss was a scorpion and I tried to talk it out with him. Apparently scorpions, maybe they don't speak English, I don't really know, but he wasn't very talkative. So I had to kill him, unfortunately. I then find the Scorpion King Mobius, but apparently he's not actually evil and he was containing the real bad guys, the other robot people. I then find my brain, and my brain, he's got lip for some reason. But I convince him to join with me again. I really hated that I had to do this, but I had to fire the cast of The Big Bang Theory. Hey Penny, Bazinga. This gun might have been a little overkill for this, but the day was saved. With that DLC done, I can finally go home and be safe from crashing, somewhat. Finally, it is time for the final DLC. This one almost feels like a natural extension of the actual map itself, which is interesting. But before you can go into the wasteland below, you have to go into the bunker. And in this DLC, your companion is a robot. He's basically the droids from the Knights of the Old Republic game. You know, the one that looks like R2-D2? But it's not R2-D2. This robot's main purpose is to be hacked into by the main character of this DLC, who is a courier named Ulysses, and apparently, a long time ago, we ruined his life, and now we have to suffer and pay. But like, you know, that was a long time ago, and I feel like we can hug it out. So I'm like trying to hug him right now, but he's not here. But we have a special connection, and we need to hug it out. We need to talk it out. We need to embrace each other, not in a romantic way, but in a spiritual way.
I'm a courier. Courier 6 was Courier 6. Like you, and not like you. In all the ways that matter. Courier, you fucked up my life, and now you will suffer like I have suffered.
I'm sorry, dude. I just didn't even know you existed.
Neither did life before you ruined mine.
Story aside, the combat is pretty fun in this one because the enemies are challenging, but they aren't bullshit. It's just simple combat and levels and maps that don't overstay their welcome. The entire time I was playing this story here, I never felt like it was boring or tedious. I was always doing something, and it didn't feel like I was being given a grocery list of things I had to do. Instead, I was just able to walk around and explore the map, even though it is pretty linear. Even though I think Ulysses is a little cringe, at least the story kind of revolves around you, and it doesn't feel like you just showed up and the cast and characters don't really know what to do with you. The other DLCs really did just feel like the characters there, they're like, oh, you're here? Okay, well, here's some things you can go do. Meet us when you get my laundry, you get my lunch and all that, and then we'll see how we fit you into the story. Which, that's fine. The stories were good. It just, I felt like I was intruding on someone else's life, and I wasn't really supposed to be there. It's sort of what it felt like, but in video game form. But it made it hard for me to care about the stories because I was a tag along. Oh, also, the robot has a story. Apparently the bad guys were bad to him. It's pretty fucked up. The big problem I have with this DLC is it's supposed to be a DLC that acts as a reflection on you as a gamer playing the game, and it's supposed to, recontextualize all the decisions you've made. One of those kind of things. But the issue is it doesn't focus on things you've done in the game. Instead, it focuses on something that it makes up for this DLC. Apparently, you delivered something that activated all the nukes in this area, and you killed Ulysses' hometown and everyone he knew, and he's gonna make you pay for it. Which, that'd be cool if I actually did that in the game. But I didn't do that, so it sort of comes off like one of those videos on YouTube where, the parents prank their kid, and they're yelling at their child. They're like, "Why did you tear up the bathroom?" And the kid's like, "I didn't do it," because the parents tore it up, and they're gaslighting the kid. That's what this DLC's story feels like.
Revenge isn't the message I have for you. More than that, courier.
I'm going to come out and say this. My take is, maybe Ulysses, he's not the most reliable of narrators because he's literally the main character in Hatred, well, the bad guy in Hatred, and he wants to nuke a whole bunch of people. So, maybe he's not a reliable narrator. I know, pretty shocking statement. But I'm a good guy, so I'm going to go talk to him, and I'm going to hear him out. Ulysses, that's a nuclear weapon. I think you should not do this. A lot of people are going to die. Even me and you could die. At the end of the day, me and him, we came to an understanding, and we're able to let bygones be bygones. And I think that was pretty wholesome, actually. Then me and him, side by side, we stopped the nukes from launching and saved the day. And after that, we all learned to live together. It feels sort of weird when you've actually completed all the DLCs, especially when you do them back to back to back like that. Because I forgot there's a open world game in here, and yeah, I kind of missed it. I like the DLC and I like the main game, but the only problem is I like the main game more than I like the DLCs. So as I was going through all the DLCs, I was sort of thinking to myself, man, I can't wait to get back and finish the story of Fallout New Vegas. Instead of 4 micro stories, I wish Fallout New Vegas got one big expansion instead. But, you can't really change the past at all. And I guess that's what mods are for in a way. Because imagine if characters like Ulysses were given more time to cook, instead of you just running into him randomly and he just says all these ramblings at you. Like if they had a DLC that was focused on the divide blowing up, then that would have been interesting. But yeah, I guess everything is just kind of like what could have been. This is a common theme. Every time I like an RPG, I wish there was more to it, and that's just kind of like a problem with me. I don't know. I get really into a few games, and I'm like, these games are awesome. I wish they had more to it. And then I find out that a lot of times the reason there aren't more to these games is because they went through development hell. Before I could end Fallout New Vegas, I went to go recruit Danny Trejo. Felicia Day, Danny Trejo, now you've met.
Annie's better than staying here. Let's go.
Time to actually activate the final part of the game. The battle for Hoover Dam 2. The Legion is assaulting the dam, but no worries, the Great Khans are here. Okay, they might have all been put down violently, but that's okay. I got more important things to worry about. We got to install an override for Mr. House, and gosh darn it, we're gonna do it. I did all that work to get the boomers on my side, and this is the payoff here. Yeah. I don't know why Danny Trejo, he does not seem impressed by all this here. Like, you saw a bomber just bomb the Hoover Dam. He doesn't even care.
I knew you'd make it. Resourceful as always. The override module is functioning properly. I'm rerouting power to the Securitron vault at the fort as we speak. I just need you to head over to the east power plant and manually activate the switch. When you return topside, I think you'll see that my Securitron Army is a little more than the Legion was prepared to handle. Oh, and before you go, grab that printout spooling from the console here. Those papers set the terms for the NCR's unconditional surrender. I thought you might enjoy the honor of presenting them to the NCR's commanding officer once the Legion has been defeated. Cheers.
This has become a three-way battle. But I'm not really a soldier. I'm more of a laborer. I'm flipping switches, doing what I need to do. These guys just so happen to be in the way. But in reality, I'm kind of just here to mop the floors, but I ended up mopping the floor with these guys here. Now we got to go to the Legion camp. I can't really call them Caesar's Legion anymore. What's Caesar's Legion without the Caesar? Me and Danny are kind of unstoppable together. I kind of feel bad because I didn't really have time to do his quest or anything like that. But we'll make time after everything is done.
An envoy of Vegas, yet you carry yourself for battle. If so, you cannot truly be of that city of cowards.
Wrap it up, dude. I don't know how to tell you this, but the game is over. I managed to convince the Legion and the NCR to leave. Because we can't all live together, I'm sorry. And after more than 32 hours of gameplay, it's finally done. Fallout New Vegas is done. But here at the end, I feel like I could have done more. I feel like I could have played the game longer. I could have done more side quests. I don't want to sound philosophical because at the end of the day, this is a video game. But you know, when you get to the end of life, you're like, man, I wish I had done that differently, or I forgot to do that. And in a way, that's how I feel right now at the end of Fallout New Vegas. Is like, wow, this is the end, huh? Because I'm not going to load a save back. That's just where the game ends for me. But Fallout New Vegas is actually short enough where I actually will do more playthroughs. I will replay the game again. Especially because I can skip all the stuff I want to skip and do all the stuff I want to do. And the game doesn't really punish you for it too much. The game is very reactive to what the player does, which, I don't know, it's kind of cool to see what the game does in reaction to you doing things out of order or doing something differently. At the end of the day, I appreciate everything this game has done. I like the world building. I like how thought out everything is. I had some nitpicks every now and then, but they're just nitpicks. It's because I'm trying to push the game further. You know, I'm like a coach, okay? But if I was Angry Joe, I would give this game a badass seal of approval. And I just want to say I appreciate everyone who's worked on it. And you watching this video, I'm Mr. New Vegas. I appreciate you. And we're doing like a hug or a handshake, whatever you want to do. Alright, that's long enough, dude. Okay, that's long enough. Alright, I'll catch you around, bro. Peace.
And so the Courier's Road came to an end, for now. In the new world of the Mojave Wasteland, fighting continued, blood was spilled, and many lived and died just as they had in the old world. Because war never changes.